Hello friends, welcome back to okayjava, and in this video we'll talk about VS Code and how can we make use of VS Code to write Java code to design Spring Boot web application or Android application or any other things that needs Java. Why? The reason why I want to you guys know or start using VS Code as soon as possible, because let me take you to some newspapers actually. If you guys can read here, then the read is here, the title, news title. It says Facebook. So this message from Facebook. It says Microsoft's VS Code, Visual Studio Code, is now our default development platform. So point is, now VS Code is one of the important IDE that most of the people in the market are using it. If you guys are not haven't started, I think this is the right time for you guys to move to the new IDE, which is VS Code. And in this video I'm going to help you guys to configure your IDE so that you can download and install the IDE. You can configure whatever is required to support Java in the VS Code. If you guys do not know, VS Code is just like, you can say, it's a kind of a dummy IDE where you can install different plugins to work on a different platforms. Like for example, if you want to write your code in PHP, then you can go and download a PHP framework inside the IDE itself. If you want to use .NET, then you can go and install the .NET framework, .NET extension to support the .NET. Similarly, we have some like extension for the Java as well that we are going to see here. Okay, so now what I will do is I'll first go and start my IDE. So now you guys can see here, this is my IDE. I just started. If you guys are not happy with the Blake theme, you can just go and change the theme as well. There are different options available. And if you guys are new, then I have some videos here on my channel on VS Code that you can go and see how to install, and there are a few couple more videos on VS Code to make you more familiar with the IDE features that you can watch here in this video. If not in this one, then there should be one more video in which I have explained about the features of VS Code. I think it's here, a VS Code feature that you guys can go and watch this video here. Okay, now let's go back to the IDE here. Now what I want to do is I want to install like an extension to support Java in VS Code. So for that, what you can do is, if you see here in the left bottom, there is an icon, right? Settings icon, manage. You click on that one, and then you will see something called extension here. Extensions. Or either what you can do is you can just you start your IDE and type Ctrl+Shift+X. Okay. So here is your extension search bar where you can go and search whatever you need. What I will do is, let me just go and type Java. If I'll type Java here, then you can see there are different variants available, like there are different plugins available or extensions available in the VS Code market, right? If you see here, these on top are from the Microsoft, and there is one from Red Hat, there is one from like Microsoft and other, right? There are so many. Now, if you guys are going to start installing one by one, then there is like a fair possibility that you may miss something, an important plugin or extension, which you might need at that point of time while writing your code or while designing your application, right? So what I'm going to do is, let me take you to the Chrome. So if you see here, so this is the official website of VS Code Studio, and I have already searched for the Java extension. If you see here, it says like there are different ways. One is either you can go to the Ctrl+Shift+X, go and type Java. There you will see the plugins as we saw, right? Now, if you come down here, it says like recommended extensions. That is the good one, right? If you click here, install the Java extension pack. When you say pack, it is like it has got all the recommended, like the most important packs which you need or plugins which you need as part of your development. Those you can go and install just by clicking on this one. Okay, so let me do it for you guys. Install the Java extension pack. The button is here, right? I'm gonna click on this one. It says open VS Code. I'll simply click on OK. Now you see here Java extension pack, and this pack is going to have six you can say six extensions or six plugins. Okay, I'll simply click on install here. Now you can see installing all these plugins or tools, whatever you want to call it, or extensions. So these two are done. It is installing the rest of the four. You can see same here also. Now it says like we are done with the installation of Java extension. So now this IDE VS Code is good enough to start a Java project. You can try it out yourself. There are different, you can see the good features available. Like if you want to learn about something, how do you create a project, that you can go here. If you want to talk about Spring, that you can watch here. If you talk about microservices, if you need some help, you can go through these videos, these tutorials. If you want some documents, that you can find here. And okay, so this is the one part. So my IDE is now enabled. I have enabled this VS Code to support Java. Now what I can do is I can simply go and create a Java project in this IDE and it will look fine. Now, so this is the one part. So I'll go back to the browser here. Now you see, like now at the moment Spring Boot is on peak, right? It is on demand in the market. More and more companies are using Spring Boot to develop Spring based or Java based web applications, right? So there are two ways to do it. One is you need a Spring Boot toolsuite STS plugin to support Spring Boot in VS Code. So I'm just going to install this particular extension. Now if you are just planning to install normal Java program like core Java project, then you don't need anything else apart from this pack. This is good enough for you. But yeah, if you are more interested or if you deal with the Spring Boot, then you need these plugins as well, right? So I'm just going to install the first one, Spring Boot tools. I'll simply click on install here. Again it says that it needs VS Code. Okay, click on OK. It's going to open the VS Code. I'll click OK. Now you see here, okay, because it says uninstall. Oh, it means that I already have a Spring Boot tools plugin or extension installed in my VS Code. But for you guys, if you guys are very new and haven't installed earlier, like prior to this video, you will see an install button here. Simply click on the install button and then you're good to go, right? So this is the one part, and then we also need Spring initializer. So this Spring initializer is like, if you go and type here, let me copy this one, right? Spring IO, Spring IO. Okay, so Spring initializer is a web utility provided by Spring, so that you can go and create a Spring based web project on the internet by using the browser itself. And then you can download your project and then you can import your project in your ID and then you can do whatever you want to do. Okay. Now the point is, if you want a Spring initializer in your ID itself, if you want this to be part of your VS Code, we are going to configure here Spring initializer Java support. Simply click on install. It will again ask you to open the VS Code. Okay. Now the same thing, because I already have this installed, this particular plugin installed in my ID. So I'm just I can see that I have two options, one is either disable or either uninstall. Okay. Now if you are very new and doing it for the first time, you will see an install button here, like a button to install this particular extension in your VS Code. Once you are done with that, you are good to go. Your IDE is good enough to write Java based web project. You can go and create Java core Java projects. You can go and create Java web project. You can go and create Spring based project or Spring Boot based project. Your IDE VS Code will support each and everything which you see here. Okay. Now in case of anything, if you do not have any idea, just let me know in the comment section. And I think I forgot to tell you guys one more thing. Let me just go to the IDE. If you guys are new and haven't installed haven't installed VS Code, what you can do is simply go to the google.com and type VS Code. The very first website is the official website of VS Code. Here you can see we have an option called download Visual Studio Code. Just click on that. So this is the official variant. Now if you see, if you guys are using Windows 10 or 7, 8 or 10, you can go and download the exe from here. If you guys are using any Unix flavor, go and get the file from here. Or this is for the Mac users if you use Mac. Okay, so things are pretty clear, right? What you have to do is first go and download the VS Code, because now it is in peak, it is in market, people are using it, it is highly in demand. And like as part of new learning, you should know about VS Code. I told you, I just told you, like, even Facebook is using it's a by default development ID for the Facebook, right? So I think you should know that too. First go and get this extension exe file from here and install in your system, and then you follow the steps. I'll give you the steps. I'll share the link with you guys. You first go and download the Java extension pack, and then go and download the rest of the two extensions to support Spring based web application. Okay, so that's it for this video, guys. Now in case of anything you need some help, just let me know in the comment section. I'll get back to you guys as soon as possible. Thank you for watching.